Welcome back to Casey's Crazy Ideas. Today we are working on that tractor for the putting that winch controller on. So if some of you remember, this old winch controller came off that winch that we tore apart in a previous video, and this controller works. Needs some help, but it works. And so the idea is to put it on the back of this tractor because this winch doesn't have a controller. So we're going to take this, we're going to shove this back up in here, and we're going to bring the wires around here, and then there's a spot in the battery box, like way up in there. And as you can see, that slot right there. Right. I'm going to put the wires up in there, and then we'll have our controller for in and out. The only thing I got to do is I got to lengthen this wire because it won't reach. And we're going to zip tie it to the back of the winch. I don't want to make it too hard to get off in case we got a problem. So we're just going to run some zip ties through these little feet around it, and then tidy up the wires to the back. We'll get a piece of sheet metal probably. Take this off, drill a hole, and then we'll maybe shoot a screw in each side to hold this on. Either glue it or duct tape it there to help create a seal, and then this will stay permanently attached so that whenever we need it, it's ready, because getting this up in there when your hands are freezing isn't going to work. So that's kind of what we're going to do. So the first step is to lengthen this wire probably as long as this flashlight, which is, I don't know, 7 inches. And then we got to make this cap piece here so that way there, it's sealed fairly well. So that's what we're going to do. We'll bring it back in a moment. Alright, so we're going to use this piece of aluminum, and we're going to trim it down to the width or length, and then overhang it, bend it, and put some screws in it. Camera. The controller works, so I'm just going to try and put it on the tractor. Right here we can use it. Is he working? I'll find all the specs for both cars, where they should actually be running here trim-wise. Okay. Big saw runs 13.5, and the little saw runs 10. I wonder if it seems like a full start. Higher. This weekend, I won't be doing anything or two over there, and next weekend, potentially we'll be doing something with cutting, splitting, and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. That's kind of where we're at now, is whenever it's too ready for all that stuff. Well, then we gotta put the roof on. Alright, so we're just having a basic conversation about some stuff going on with wood and whatnot. I have a video of some of that stuff coming at some point, but that video is going to be based off of photos. So those of you who don't really like photo videos too much, which I don't blame you, but I couldn't video it. So I just took photos of progress as we went about it. Alright, so I just cut a slit so I can slide this up. Then we're going to drill 2 holes, or self-tappers, through here. And then we'll put some sort of sealant in here, put a couple of screws to the sides, and then this will be fixed, for the most part. So, I mean, I probably could use these bolts. It probably would be a smarter move. Well, let me go get a drill. Okay, so I use those nuts and bolts. Let me do the back side, and then we just flip this over. So I was gonna pop a few screws. Now let's get some glue. I want to see what happens. Alright, so the glue's all dry. The lighting sucks in here, but glue's dry. And off camera I went ahead and I just lengthened the wire. Yeah, I got red on black, but I didn't have any black. And then we're just going to attach it up here. So I'm going to take the cord here. I'm going to do it. Plug this in, maybe. That's in there, it's nice and tight. And we're going to stick this up in here. About there. Not really going to be able to see Yeah, the Rizlum's for anybody. I'm just trying to buy it because I'm having a hard time getting it. The Hyperlube. Make the connections up in here. I'm trying to put my flashlight in here so maybe you guys can see something. Maybe not. Does anybody know, do they make lighted GoPros? Or like a stand you could like attach like a light to like the GoPro? I don't know. I think you guys a better view. So, tighten these up. Kind of keep it away from my tires, from where all the slinging salt and crap goes. And then you have these two big wires that go to the battery. So like I showed, there's a slot up in here. Where we can bring them up to the battery box. Now we're using zip ties, not duct tape. Yeah, no, you really can't see a whole lot. I can't see a whole lot either. I'm thinking 2 should hold it, so we're going with. There's side cuts out here. I don't know what to do with them. I don't have flush cutting wire cutters or side cuts. And anybody who knows, the pieces that are left on a zip tie are very sharp and they cut you wide open very quickly. That's why individuals who don't try and cut all that stuff off really make the next guy mad. Okay. So, I am not making you guys sick. This is where I'm working. All zip tied up. Now all I gotta do is make the battery connections. Now very black to black, red to red. Yes, I know, like, well, why don't you just use part of the black wire from that wire? Well, I wasn't quite sure how I was going to route it, and if I cut that off, and now I might regret it. So, not too concerned. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go see if I can find a wrench, because I didn't bring one with me for this. Alright, so I ended up having to make this bolt longer, and it wasn't quite long enough. I was using the old factory bolt that came with it, and then I just routed this one around town and hooked it up to here. So I didn't clean much of this off, really no point. So, as long as it clears this, is what matters. And so now, if I did everything correctly, my wraps and the wires, and, you know, this plug thing's like 10 feet long. This should be out. So ends out. That's not right. So I have no out. Or back in. So let's well, that sucks. I wonder if I ran a screw through that solenoid box, maybe. There's nothing here. I got nothing either way. Let's see what I did. Alright, so after process of elimination, I put the back off of this, and I jumped the wires, see if it's a bad switch, which is fine. Cleaned up my wire connections up here. Those were okay. They're a little iffy, but cleaned them up. And switched relays. Still only had out, not in. And then took the relay and just manually tested to see if it would click. And this one's not clicking. And I don't know if the camera will bring it up, but there's a lot of rust right there. See if I can. Either way, there's this thing is swollen with some rust and it's just not working. So I went and found one that had smaller fingers on it, stuck it in here. So I mean, they're not as tight as I'd like it to be, but it should work. And so now, I don't know if I got out, I got in. So that was that, and all I gotta do is make sure all these connections are pushed in tight. And put the little cap back on, re-zip tie it back to the the motor, and twirl all this up and stick it up there. And then we'll have a not wireless, but a winch controller. Yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. Got this one there. Give all this stuff a good shove. I know I did not disconnect the battery. There's really no point. These were a pain in the rear end to get out. So they're all in there. I don't know how much this, looks like that. Stuff all this. Alright, so apparently that comes off. In any case, give me all this back in here. And I just had a couple of Phillips head screws holding it. I'll bring you back once I'm done. Alright, so we got out, we got in. Like I said, here's the controller stuff. That's about it. Well, that'll be all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.